Today I just wanted to make a quick video about this masking tip that I found in Lightroom and I wanted to share it with you. So let's jump in and start doing some editing. Right, this photo is a singular photo of a guy walking down the high street looking pretty cool. It's got a cool hat on, we love that. I'm not keen on the colour of the bag. The purple is just a little too much and there's not really a lot of purple on my feed or in any other part of this image, so I want to get rid of the purple. What I can do here, if I was to go to create new mask, colour range and click on this purple, it's going to select everything in the image that's purple. Everything. Every drop of purple in this entire frame is going to be selected. I don't want that. So I'm going to get rid of that mask completely. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to my mask 1, which is the guy, which is selecting the subject. I'm going to duplicate this mask. Now to save me getting confused, just rename this bag because I only want the bag. And when I've got this selected, you'll see that it comes up with subject 1, which is my subject, and I've got add and subtract below that. If I hit Alt on the keyboard, the add and subtract changes to intersect. If we click intersect, you'll see another drop down menu, and I'm going to select from that drop down menu color range. That's going to give me this eyedropper tool here. Now with that eyedropper tool, I'm going to select a shadow point, and then I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to select probably a highlight point maybe. If I then take this bar at the top here under color range that says refine, I can refine this down. I think I'm pretty happy with this selection here. So once I've got my selection set, I can then go ahead and make the adjustments that I want. Once I'm happy with the adjustments, I'm going to just click done, and that is my mask added to just the bag. That's taken me like minutes. I can turn that on and off as well, and you can see the difference it's making. I'm pretty happy with that. That's cool. Click done. So with this second image here, I know I've got a really moody sky. I shot this raw, so I know a lot of that detail is going to be there, but I've got to draw it out of the image. Now what I would normally do with a moody sky like this is I'm going to go up to masks in this top corner, and I'm going to hit select sky, and I'm going to let Lightroom select the sky for me, which is done. Now I can go ahead and I can make the adjustments that I would make. Now for part of that image that really works, but for other parts of that image it doesn't work as much. See this bottom corner here where we've got the chain and we've got a bit of the statue, and then we've got this muddy patch of cloud there. That's because this mask, if I click show overlay, that mask is working flat 100% across that entire sky. Now that's not how a sky works. Skies are gradiented, whether it's in the middle of the day, whether it's moody, whatever the weather, the sky is never just one block, it's always a gradient. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this mask, we've got our sky there, and we've got add and subtract. We're going to go ahead and hit Alt or Options if you're on a Mac, and hit intersect. Now when we hit intersect, this drop down menu appears, and instead of going color range this time, we're going to go to linear gradient. That brings up our linear gradient mask, and we can drag from the top to the bottom. Now you can see what this mask is going to do. Now this gradient is going to take our mask and the effects that we've used, and it's going to gradient them over the image. How much of that gradient is up to you. So I'm just going to adjust this, trying to suit what I think looks kind of cool. So that's where I've ended up. If I click show overlay, you'll see this gradient finishes pretty quickly at the horizon line because I don't want that muddiness on the horizon. So now we've got this image here. We can turn this gradient on and off so you can see what it's doing. Look at that muddiness on the horizon. That is unbelievably muddy, and it really stands out. With that gradient on, I can keep the effect at the top of the image, which is what I want, because I want that sky to look super moody, and then towards the horizon I want it basically gone. Another really handy way of using that intersect button. Now on this last image here, I've kind of done some masking to this already, so I'm going back and changing how I've masked this. If I select masks, you can see I've got a clock tower, which is standout, which I put some effects on. I've got a fade in the bottom left corner. I've got a fade on the buildings on the bottom right of the corner. So I'm really trying to pronounce my subject. And then I've got a sky gradient here. Now this sky gradient, as in the last one, covers the entire sky from top to bottom. So you can see even down in this bottom corner here, the effects that I've put on to affect the top are still affecting the bottom. Now I know I can change this now. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to hit intersect, and I'm going to hit linear gradient again. And then I'm just going to drag from the top down and then just adjust using Alt. So what it's done there is, rather than having this effect all the way down, because I've kept the brightness, I've ducked the highlights and I've added some dehaze. That was just to bring out a bit of pronunciation in the clouds. Now that looks really cool in this blue section. I've got a little bit of cloud up the top here and a little bit of cloud next to the tower. It looks really cool there, but as you get towards the bottom where it gets more shadowy, it doesn't look as good. So I really don't want the clouds to be dull and dragged down. And you can see if I turn this gradient off how much that's affecting just those clouds at the bottom. That's with it off and that's with it on. So I'm trying to make my gradients like this because it makes the effects that I put on the skies more subtle, and I think it just does a better job of looking after the image. Think of these intersecting masks as a Venn diagram. You've got your one mask on one side, you've got a separate mask on the other, and you're asking Lightroom to only affect the bit that's overlapped in the middle. This is a really useful tool, one that I'm using way more often than I thought I would, and it's so helpful. I thought I'd share it with you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you very soon. Peace out.